This article is coming from Tips Ranks by way of Yahoo Finance. Joe Soros and Steve Cohen have one thing in common. They both bet on these two stocks. Joe Soros and Steve Cohen have built fortunes for themselves. A look at their latest 13F filing shows that they did find at least one thing in common, two stocks that they both saw fit to bet on going forward. I'm going to skip the first stock, this Celanese Corporation. What kind of caught my eye was uh, they both invested in SoFi Technologies. Now, SoFi is based in San Francisco. It's a personal finance company. Um, SoFi stands for social finance. They cater to customers purely online, and they had over 5 million customers at the end of last year. Like many lending tech oriented firms, the company still operates at a net loss. In the most recent quarter, 4Q22, showed that the loss had moderated significantly year over year. Now let's talk about the top line. Q4 total net revenue was reported at 456 million, up 60% from the year earlier. So, how much do these gentlemen, aka billionaires, own? Steve Cohen has already bought into SoFi in the third quarter of 2022. In Q4, he increased his position by 1.6 million, a bump above 47%. Cohen now holds over 5 million shares of SoFi. Soros, on the other hand, opened a new position in the stock in Q4, where he bought 1.25 million shares. Now, it's just not these two billionaires that are bullish on the stock. Analysts are also bullish on the stock. You have Kevin Barker, a five-star analyst from Piper Sandler, has been monitoring the stock and he likes what he sees. And overall, you have the 10 most recent analyst reviews on SoFi. They break down 7-3 in favor of buyers over holders. So with that said, if we go to SoFi, and if we look at the monthly chart, we can see that it hit a high. It went public in 2020 via a SPAC, rode the wave of helicopter money all the way up to $28. But right now it sits at $5.92. Um, this most recent green candle was in January. So you had a drop in price, a basing candle, and a rally. So that is a monthly buyer's zone at, we'll say, 450. And what you can see from the monthly chart is that price tried to come back to the zone, but did not. So there are definitely buyers down in this area, sub 5. What's also worth noting is that we have some resistance at the $8 level. So that would be a first target if we find a setup to go long. Let's look at the weekly chart. And we can see this gap up that occurred towards the end of January. That must have been on earnings, had to be on earnings. But since then, price hit the resistance level at $8 and has since pulled back, filling the gap. These wicks indicate that there are buyers at this level. As we'll see another gap right there. Let's go down to the daily chart. Now, on the daily chart, we can see that price has been basing as of late also see price has been trending higher. Like I said on the weekly chart, that gap up was on earnings. The previous earnings, we had a gap up, but it closed the day red, just out of curiosity. Uh, Previous earnings to that, we had a gap up, and you have to go back for earnings to see the first gap down. All right. So looking at current price, uh, upside is limited. There appears to be some daily sellers at the 650 level, but it's not on high volume, so it is not the strongest level. But nevertheless, it is a level that needs to be respected. If you wanted to get into SoFi, now is not the time. Best levels to get in is if price drops back down to the monthly buyers zone at 450. If price continues to respect this uptrend line, I would anticipate a small pullback, but the real level where sellers are going to come in is at the resistance level at $8. So if I was trying to get into SoFi, I would just be sitting on my hands as of now, praying for a pullback to the monthly buyer zone at 450. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.